We gotta go through another town. The first town's called Fairfield. Then it's Desert, and then Gettysburg. Hi, everybody. How art thou? It's Friday morning, 68 degrees. 68 comfortable degrees. You know? Thanks, Canada. You know, Canada's been sending us a lot of great things lately. A couple years of smoke, choking smoke, and then now fall in August, October in August, if you will. And what next, Canada? What next? You used to send really great comedians. What happened to them? Good morning, 6 questions. How art thou? How's the foot doing? Healing along, I hope. You know, you keep reminding me every time you let me know that you're not going to make it for AG today, that your foot is still broken. And I got to go to a podiatrist myself because I've got something going on with my heel, my Achilles heel, and it's just getting annoying. So I'm going in to edit, let's see, last night's show and also the audio version of Wednesday's Ask a Guide. And then if there's any time left over, I'm going to start editing another interview from CWI, probably with Doug Dowds. I believe it's our friend Roll Tide, who is usually often in the comments section. He commented on the Aaron Sheehan Dean show about how the American Civil War generation looked back to the English Civil War. And his comment was, what does this have to do with Gettysburg? And it was such a disappointing comment. So my response was, did you watch it? And I'm waiting to hear back. Because if you watched it, then the question would be, what war did the Battle of Gettysburg occur in? And then hopefully he would say the Civil War. And then I would say, yes. And there's more to the Civil War than the Battle of Gettysburg. And the Battle of Gettysburg is a great launching pad or launch pad to explore the rest of the war. And that's where we're heading with addressing Gettysburg and into addressing history. So I hope you can understand that learning more is good. So the next one with Doug Dowds is about how the the World War II generation, much like today, we look back on World War II. So, don't mean to sound condescending to Roll Tide. He's been a very good commenter and listener over the years. It just hit me the wrong way type of question, coming from a regular. Just, I don't know. And I was talking about it this morning with Cindy, and I go, you know, I'm not a techie person, but I just watched a whole video on how police camera, license plate readers work. And this guy has developed ways to thwart it, which is completely illegal. But, you know, it's interesting just to see how all that stuff works. I could never figure that out myself, but I'm interested to learn things that I might not already have an innate interest in. And maybe others aren't that way, but, you know. There you go. There you go. Hey, Francis, good morning. Oh, you liked the show last night? Okay, good. Thank you. Nate, first time catching one this early in it, watching in Nebraska. Wow, Nebraska, very nice. I think you're the first listener I know of, at least, in Nebraska. Ty Webb says, Matt is listening to The Cure again. It's Friday. I'm in love. Oh, my God. You know, Ty, for 30 years, 35 years, I have blissfully forgotten that song. But now it's going to be in my head all day. Thank you. I hated that song when it came out. Dustin, good morning to you. Eric says, that was a great discussion. I am really looking forward to reading the book. Gets it. There you go. Thank you, Eric. Gail says, good morning. I have a nice Labor Day weekend. Oh, that's this weekend, isn't it? Jesus. Loves me. Where did the summer go? Where did it go, ladies and gentlemen? Gracie, good morning. Hey, Gracie, did you just join Patreon? There was a Gracie that joined Patreon recently, and if it's you, thank you very much. Ty Webb says, I look forward to addressing addresses. Well, wait until you get into that. History of the Postal Service. That's one of the other shows that's going to be under Addressing History. Addressing addresses. And, you know, the evolution of addresses. You know, why do we have a zip code? We didn't always have a zip code. Why do we have street names and numbers? You know, like these things didn't just, you know, start out of nowhere. They evolved. We're going to get into that one. Bethany is going to host that show. Bill, good morning to you. Dustin says those episodes would be late or somehow misplaced. That's funny. Entertainment says Phoenix, Arizona. Well, that sounds nice and warm down there. Welcome, Phoenix, Arizona. I've always wanted to go to Arizona. Haven't gone yet. Someday I will. I have an idea for a show that hopefully will take us on the road. And you best be believing we're going to be in the Southwest and the West quite a bit, if I could ever make that happen. And I will be able to with your help. Happy Friday to you as well, Jeff. Jeff Pasnick, he won the contest. No, sorry, it wasn't him. It was Brandy won the contest for the Scott Hartwig tour. And all tickets are either sold out or given away. We had, I think, 4 or 5 giveaways. People through various means earned them, and that is it. So you won't be able to catch this year's tour with Scott Hartwig at Antietam. But Jen Murray and I were at dinner on Sunday, and we talked about how we have other ideas for fundraisers that I think you'll enjoy. One of them is at Antietam. Another one at Harper's Ferry. And I think you'll like them. I think you'll like them. Arizona where the snow never falls, yeah. How do you, so were you born and raised in Arizona, or did you move there? Because I hear from people out here who moved there, some of them come back because they miss the green and they miss the change of the seasons. Is all of Arizona without green? I mean, I would imagine it's got to be something, right? Somewhere? No? Mountains? Don't you get snow in the mountains? Jeff Pasnick says, just visited the Southwest, bring lots of sunscreen. Us pasty whites don't do well in the sun. Views are outstanding. Yeah, you were just in Vegas. I've been there twice for work, and it is something else. It is something else out there. The view, that's the only time, let me think that's the only time I've been to a desert climate. And I thought it was really cool. It's a different vibe. I was only there for a week at a time, so I don't really know if I would get sick of no green, but you know. Wundermoon K says, finally about time. Yes, I'm going to try to do more of these videos just to keep sharp and keep the YouTube feed alive. Ty Webb says, good, brave Sir Jeffrey. How does the prospects for the Bills this season? Oh, how goes, excuse me. Well, we're getting into sports again. Here we go. To the right is Devil's Den Donuts. Still waiting on a thunderstorm drive. Yeah, I don't catch the thunderstorms. They always come like in the middle of the day, or sometimes at the end of the day, but I'm still in the studio. But I'll get one. When I have the chance, I'll get one. Entertainment says, my parents moved here from Nolans when I was 5. So you basically were born and raised there. So you probably don't know of Seasons in Green, or do you? Turning left on Fairfield Drive. No, we are on Fairfield Road right now. I will be making a right onto South Confederate, where we will, as I promised Matt Gillespie yesterday, since he got outvoted in the choice of where to go. What is that car in front of us? Is that a Thunderbird? That's a Thunderbird. God, I haven't seen one of those in forever. A Thunderbird. I would zoom in, but I don't want to give away the guy's license plate. That's pretty cool. Matt lives like Eddie Rabbit. He loves a rainy night. I do love a summer thunderstorm. I love violent weather. I remember Hurricane Sandy when I was up in New Jersey, and we were about, I don't really know how far inland we are, but I mean, to get to the coast, like the closest point to the coast was maybe at most an hour's drive. So what is that, 60 miles? I don't know, whatever it is. Not very far from the coast. So we got hit pretty hard. We were without power for a week and everything. And I remember standing out on the front lawn just as it's starting up, just to kind of feel it, just to be in it. And it was weird because it was very windy, but it was like high up. So like where I was on the ground, it almost felt like there was a lack of air, like a vacuum almost, like there was no movement where I was. And then one gust just decided to swoop down, and it knocked over a pine tree in the front yard with such ease. The tree was probably ready to go anyway, but it just fell over across the road. And I was standing under a big oak, and I was like, I should probably go inside. So I went inside. But yeah, I love that. I don't like winter storms. Okay, like maybe a good blizzard, but rain in the winter is just miserable, and it lasts forever. Summer, they come and go. Bing pow. Thought I told you to go blank your mother. You know, they're in, they're out. It rains very rare, never been able to enjoy rain, snow. There's nothing to enjoy, so you're not missing anything. But what is isn't there a city in, I forget which city it is. There's like a mountain not very far away, or mountains not very far away, where people go skiing. And it's like blazing hot summer down on the floor, but up on the mountaintop, it's all snow and cold. Jim says, where are the weed farms that are near Gettysburg? I don't know where they are near Gettysburg. As far as I know, there are none in Gettysburg. And you know what? That's the shame of it. I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know. Is it legal to grow it here in Pennsylvania? Because all these farms that are being bought up for solar panels and neighborhoods and stuff, I wish weed farmers would come in, because it would still stay farmland, you know? But I guess maybe it's hard to do it in PA, or maybe the climate's not right. I don't know. I don't know anything about growing it. So says Jonathan All's right in the world. Yeah, okay, we're talking about the Bills. Good. Jim, they just shut down Integrity Farms. Integrity Farms. Integrity Farms. Integrity Farms. Integrity. Jeff says, like the AG show last night, very entertaining. Oh, okay. I gotta stop listening to myself. Hello, Rich. How are you? Bill says, looks like there's going to be nice weather for the ABT tours on Sunday. Wonderful, wonderful. Bill says, looks like, oh, I just read that. I'm losing my mind. Jeff says, on another note, has Court learned any new songs via his palms? It's funny you say that, because before the show, while we were talking and stalling to piss Barbara off, I threw out another request for him to do. What the hell was it now that I can't think of it now? Oh, damn it. What song was it? I don't remember, but I threw out another one. And a few minutes into, oh no, it wasn't last night. I'm sorry. It was before the Ask a Guide. I wanted him to entertain our guest, Rich Core. And so I called out a song, and he muddled through, but in the middle I said, wait, is this the verse or the chorus? And everybody laughed at Court, and he slinked away in shame. There's the Carriage Rides. If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, we had Spencer on from the Carriage Rides. That's his company there. And I don't recognize the guide on the tour, so it's not Ralph. Oh, there's another carriage. And Spencer's on it. There's Spence up there. Yeah. Ah, that is true, Ty. He did a beautiful version of Ashokan Farewell. It brought the whole room to tears. Bethany actually had to leave the room. I'll have to remind me next Thursday to ask him to perform it for the audience. I'll put nice reverb on it and everything. I'll ask him to practice it a little bit more so that he, doesn't choke. It's one thing to do it in front of 5 of your closest friends. It's another to do it in front of millions of people who have yet to discover the show. Mikey B's food pun contest during Rich's Ask a Guy was a good idea. Yes, it was. Fun to participate and engage the audience. Yeah, Mike's good with that stuff. You're going to see more of that stuff as it comes along. We're not going to force it. It's not going to be every time. But every once in a while, we just want you guys to be engaged. I got to have something to give away to you. So now that there's more people kind of coalescing around the show, I could do giveaways again. I was doing them for a while, but then I couldn't keep up with mailing stuff. And some people were, but hey, it's free. It didn't cost you anything. So if you bitch about that, then you've got a lot of problems. But, so I didn't send out a lot of stuff. And then finally I stopped doing it. We still owe Grant his award for Listener of the Year last year. Wait until you see this year's Listener of the Year award. Wait until you see it. It's stupid. The amount of money it's going to cost me to get it, but it's stupid. But once I saw it, I was like, I have to get this for Listener of the Year. So if you want a stupidly expensive award for Listener of the Year, step it up, folks. Step it up. But you got to be able to come. No, you don't have to be able to come to I will have it at the October tour to show everybody, to make them jealous. If you're there, then you get it, and you get it. You get it right there, and you get it. If you're not there, then you don't get it. You get it next time you come to town, or if you're too far away, I'll mail it to you. Eventually, like a year or two later. Please allow 12 to 48 months shipping. The fescue in that area of Pennsylvania is remarkable. Is that a weed term? I'm not familiar with that. Apple, soon court the palms. I wish, oh God, how funny would that be? If Court had more free time, I would pull him in the studio one day and make him palm fart along to a karaoke track. And I'll auto-tune it so that it's actually in key. Oh, shit. So, I have a question for you all. I don't know if you heard me say last night that, we've had some behind the scenes conversations about the Get Out of the Car tours next year, and that maybe we should do half of them as patron only and half of them as free to the public. What say you? Are you a freeloader? I'd like to know your opinion. Are you a contributing patron? I would like to know your opinion as well. What do you think about that? Ty says, Jeff, we have all heard of Rosie Palmer and her 5 sisters. Well, Court is their one brother. Paul says, 20 days till we're in town. Matt, you got a nice selection of beer, including the Jaws movie Quince beer. Oh, very nice. I always love when you come to town, Paul. So does my beer belly. Jim has a great question. Where did Lincoln give his I Have a Dream speech? Actually, I'll show you. On the roof of this house right here. That's where he gave the I Have a Dream speech. The Gettysburg Address he gave up in the cemetery. But his I Have a Dream speech was on top of the roof of that building. It's perfect timing when I read that question just before I went by that building. Good morning, Matt Gillespie. I don't know if I said good morning to you or not. Let's see. 1E Nerd. Morning, Handsome. Good morning, 1E. 1E. How are you? Eric says, I told Bethany and Debbie last Nacht that we are going to take over the Get Out of the Car tours and you no longer have a vote. You have to just stay out of our way. Yeah. No, my involvement with it ends after me and Lewis decide what the route is. Or what the tours are. And by the way, through discussions last night, we decided that this is not just the Get Out of the Car tour. It's all events. And I'm very happy this time around to just leave it to you. I'll set the stage. You do what you got to do. Check in once in a while. I need to get back to actually just doing a show, which I don't do anymore. And that's why I'm operating at 45% when we do them. I got to get back to being good again. And I can't do that when I'm wasting my energy on bullshit. But that is the life of a small business owner, ladies and gentlemen. That is the life of it's all bullshit. And like 2% of it is the thing you actually are supposed to be doing. All right, we've got a problem here with the parking situation comedy. So we're going to park in a different spot. And I am going to go into Gettysburg Baking Company. All right, everybody. Let me just check the things here. Barbara says hello. Good morning, Barbara. Matt Gillespie says, I'm a patron. I like the Get Out of the Car being open to everyone. Okay, very kind of you, Matt. Well, they will be, half of them. But you're saying all of them open to everyone. Is that what you're saying? I need to be clear here. We'll do a formal poll at some point. Jeff Pasnick says, it's a good idea to do the micro tours. Keep the ingenuity following and keep creating your own table. Yes, thank you, Jeff. Thank you for reminding me of that. Rich Snyder says, I think the shorter tour could be about maybe one regiment or general yeah, okay, that's good. I like that. Jim says, do I think the South won the battle? No. Kevin says, oh, there's Barbara. I was wondering. Barbara's late this morning, as usual. See how I turned that around on her? Let's see now. Matthew Gillespie says, I like the idea of micro tours as well, perhaps half full 2 hour, half micro. Yeah, maybe we'll do, I don't know. I'll talk to Lewis about it. I've talked to everybody but Lewis about most of this stuff. He's coming up on Monday to record. By the way, patrons, send questions to dave@addressinggettysburg.com. Well, I guess all of you now, because I just announced it for free. So, we're recording an Ask a Guide on Monday with Lewis about Henry Hunt. So if you've got any questions about Henry Hunt, send them to Dave at addressinggettysburg.commercial and or is it commerce.com. Jeff says it's the life you always dreamed about, Matt. It actually is. That's what I was saying yesterday at my shrink. I was like, I think I'm done. I've lost the heart for it. I've lost energy. I'm losing interest. I'm starting to resent it. I think I'm done. And she's like, well, what are you going to do? And I go, nothing, because I love to do it. I'm just exhausted. And I think I'm losing the heart for it. I think I'm losing interest. I think I'm starting to resent it, but I'm just exhausted and I can't regulate. And that's my problem. And so she's like, okay, well, what are you going to do? And I said, well, 2 weeks ago, I took 2 days, cleared my schedule, and I went and locked myself in a hotel room in Harper's Ferry. She goes, good. And I said, didn't do shit. She's like, why not? And I was like, because I needed 2 months. She's like, why? And I was like, because who can decompress in 2 days after, in the 8th month of the year since your last decompression? So, yes. But Jeff, you are reminding me of what I've been reminding myself is this is what it's not, I'd never dreamed of this specifically, but this is a realistic, viable version of my dream, which was stupid. It was a dream. But this is more realistic and more in line with reality. And so the reality of, who I am, not particularly talented to be anything super, but enough to do something here, which should be a commentary on what's here. But anyway, so I love to do this, and I'm not going to stop doing it. You don't get that vote either. We will talk to Lewis to take care of it. No. That's the deal. I set the stage. You make it happen. Where did Lee poop before the battle? Jim, this is a great question. His pants, quite often. Also, anywhere he could. The man had diarrhea. Thank you, Matthew, for the super chat. Barbara says, you're getting too sneaky with these drives. Thanks, Kevin and Jeff. Kevin says, your presence makes the drives for me, Barbara. Yeah, it does. Barbara's, Grant should take some lessons from Barbara on how to be snarky and insulting. Because Grant is it's like a little too much, where it's starting to even kind of get boring now. I'll have to have a talk with him about, a little dabble do ya. But Barbara, she knows how to do it well. Grant does it well, but he does it too much. Barbara, hers is biting and cutting, and I often fall asleep from exhaustion from crying at the end of the day from whatever jab she took at me, that I laughed off when it happened, but that was only to save face in public. Deep down, in reality, it makes me cry. All right, now let's see here. That's it for us. You guys have yourselves a great day. By the way, if you like cider, Plowman's Cider Tap Room is there. Very good cider. I like cider. I like the taste of it. I like it in the fall. But a lot of them give me headaches, so I don't drink a lot of cider. But Plowman's is very good. So give it a try. No, Jim. Drugs they're boring. I never needed them. I've, dabbled, but I never, I was weird enough as it was. I didn't need to weird myself out more. I weirded out the druggies. Oh, Kevin votes for Barbara as Listener of the Year. Okay, interesting. Let me think for a second. I think all the Listeners of the Year so far have been patrons. I don't know if that was a prerequisite to be Listener of the Year, but it's certainly, and I don't know if it is now, but it certainly is the given. Remember in school when we had to do those math problems with the given? That's the given. That's your basic thingamabob. There is their patrons, but that doesn't mean a non-patron couldn't be listener of the year. So that's interesting. I don't know. We'll have to see when we have our private vote in September. Um, yeah, I like that idea though. All right, I got to get going. You guys have yourselves a fantastic weekend. It's Labor Day, as somebody earlier reminded me. And so have fun. Go to the beach if you're in this area. It's basically October, so have fun with the hard nipples. And I'll see you on Monday if you're a patron. Gettysburg is not haunted. Just go. Sorry.